Hi, I'm Peter J. Ray. Welcome to Adventures in History. Today's topic is Dearest Mother and Dad. Love, Ruth, John, Mark, and Pamela. Ruth Smallshaw Ray's Letters to Her Parents, 1956, Part 100. Hotel President, 14th and Baltimore Avenue, Kansas City, Missouri, June 1956. Dear Mother and Dad, here we've been in Kansas City. It's a very nice looking western city and one I think you'd like. The weather is dry here, hot, but we've been in mostly air-conditioned buildings, auditorium, etc., so haven't noticed the heat. Not being so humid as Cleveland, it's not noticeable to us. This has been a remarkable experience. I've been to conventions, but this was on such a huge scale. About 10,000 people here, and you can imagine having dinners for that many at once, entertaining that many at once, dancing so many, and having meetings. The high point was yesterday and the election of the president. We were up at 7 o'clock a.m. for breakfast, and the election of the vice presidents. 10 of them were in the morning. Then at 1 o'clock we began on the president. There were 4 running vice presidents, and each was paraded around and their supporters gave demonstrations in the huge auditorium. Then the balloting. Ohio had met them all the first night and caucused until about 3 o'clock a.m. to decide on their choice. He was higher on the first ballot, 1374 to 1227, and the other 2 were low, but a majority of 1530 was needed as we had 3,060 delegates. Well, they had 8 ballots and no one would change. Finally, just before dinner at 7, one fellow conceded his votes. He is 35 years old and one of 13 children. Because of his age, it was his last chance for president, and it was heartbreaking. So we had an inaugural banquet without inaugurating anyone. I met the fellow from Winnipeg. The Canadian convention is in Winnipeg next week and some are going up. After dinner, more balloting. Some of the girls had left to change to their party clothes as we were in our convention uniforms. Ours is a red vest and cap, gray skirt or shorts. Not exactly my colors. Earlier, many had gone to have their hair done. I was tempted, but most of us hated to even go to the bathroom for fear of missing the crucial ballot. Then another conceded, and his votes came to Ford. As each candidate conceded, it was so heartbreaking, for it is the high point of their JC careers. About 10:30, they finally cast a unanimous ballot for our boy, and that was really heartbreaking. His grandfather had just died, but he'd carried on the campaign, and by this time all had lost their voices. So about midnight, 12:30, we were ready for the inaugural ball, which ended too soon. The trip out was just very rugged, hot and tiring, and we were beat to begin with. We traveled in a caravan and had police escort through towns, sirens, horns, and going through red lights on the wrong side of the street to make time. Each state had their own food or booths, and you could get meals at some of the parties. Such tremendous crowds, and they had turkey, champagne, shrimp, ham, mint juleps, chili, etc. Michigan put on a breakfast for us. Ohio supplied the ale. We used the background I painted for our Bay Village Junior Women's booth that won the prize last year. The best part of all week was getting a letter from John's mother telling about the children. I can hardly wait to get back. It's been so long. She says they've been good. I opened Pamela's parcel in the few hours between the boat and leaving for here. We got back about 2:30 a.m. and left about 12 o'clock noon Saturday. The little jacket for Pamela is just darling, and so is the sunsuit. She really needed one too. If you see the same jackets again in a larger size for Mark, that would be nice for Mark's birthday. as they look so cute dressed alike. So thank you so much for her birthday presents. John's mom had a party for Pamela too. She wrote that Mark told her he didn't care for beans because they make you flatulate. They think Gertrude and Doran think Pamela is very special with all her pep. She doesn't walk, she trots, Grandpa Ray says. We got them 2 t-shirts that says on the front, "My daddy is a JC." We're taking them back Indian tom-toms from Oklahoma, and I bought Mark an Indian headdress and a gun and holster. I don't believe in it, but all the little boys have them, and he's cross with me about it. So it's been a long, full 2 weeks, and it will be good to get home and stay with my babies. I bet Pamela will have forgotten me. Much love from John and Ruth. 602 Huntmere Drive, Bay Village, Ohio, July 23rd, 1956. Dear Mother and Dad, I've had this envelope with the map of Bay Village addressed to you for 3 weeks, intending to add a note, and every day John asks if he can mail it, so tonight is D-Day. So much has happened since we've returned. It certainly was wonderful to get back, and the past few weeks have been the nicest I can ever remember. We appreciate our children and home so much when we've been away. The kitties have been particularly cute. John remarked the other night as they were playing out the front how, if we suddenly saw them for the first time, how cute they'd look. I guess we're prejudiced, although we've had compliments from many of our neighbors on them. Mark makes great friends with everyone and tells them almost everything there is to tell. One couple he calls Mr. and Mrs. Friend. One fellow said what a fine pair of youngsters we had, too, just the other day. Everyone comments on how well Mark looks after Pamela. If she falls, he picks her up and loves her, although by now she's almost as big as he is. She's 33 pounds, he's 43 pounds, both growing so. In Sunday school, the teacher says that big tears well up in Pamela's eyes, but she tries so hard not to cry, and Mark squeezes her hand. You'd have enjoyed being here the past couple of weeks. We had a phone call from Uncle Alf. We'd been out looking at new cars, and Pamela had fallen flat on her face in a grease pile, just covered even her face. So I just put her in the tub when he called that they were in Rocky River. They were here just as we got the kids out of the tub and had a short visit. They wouldn't stay here, but came the next afternoon and stayed for dinner and a game of bridge. John left for Mansfield Saturday, and Uncle Alf came over Saturday evening and stayed here all night and left for Chicago after breakfast 10 o'clock a.m. They've been traveling for 2.5 months. He just got back from Hawaii when they went up to Washington. Saw quite a bit of Norma as they were in Tacoma for 6 weeks. They've also been visiting Maurice in Chicago. Alf looks very young for his age and has kept himself in top physical condition, keeps regular hours and takes exercise. He looks good. John said that he talks like Daddy. He has an accent. They were very nice and had a cute dog. He really has 2 jobs, one for the Army. He sets up small magazines for the different posts, helps them get started, similar to a college magazine, as he did in Hawaii. And he's also interested in real estate and was trying to get a woman here to sell a large estate in Yucca Valley, which he believes will be developed soon. He had a panoramic view that he'd taken of the valley, 8 pictures, quite the effect. You ought to take a trip out there. Our vacation did us so much good. The cruise was particularly what I needed, no telephones, no pressures, and I feel for the first time like I did before Pamela came. She has been like a changed girl since we returned. The Rays took wonderful care of the children, and they both look so much better. I don't know what she did to Pamela, but she's been so much easier to live with. They thought she'd missed me in the first 2 weeks. Every time I turned around, she was hugging me or kissing me, and she's still so much more affectionate. I really have had a trying year with her, and I don't know quite why. I hope she stays sweet. She'll always have a whirlwind of a personality. She's learned to ride her bicycle. The folks got a bigger one for Mark. They look so cute riding their bicycles together. They also got Pamela a beautiful big doll, too fancy for her to play with, almost as big as Pam, and a lovely dress and hair, almost like Mommy's. The kiddies had a wonderful time at their grandma's. The little dress and sunsuit have been perfect. She wears the sunsuit almost every other day and needed the dress too and wore it the day it arrived. It fit perfectly and very cute. Thank you, Grandma Smallshaw. Dale was over today with her 2 little girls, one Mark's age with dark hair and big dark eyes, the other Pamela's age with bright red curly hair all over her head and blue eyes and fair skin. Both so cute and so very different. She's expecting in January. Last week I had another friend over, Shirley Brown. You met her at Hannah's with the 2 boys. She's expecting any day. The 4 boys, hers and Mark and Jay, went upstairs and really tore the place apart. All toys, so nothing wrong, and I'm so glad it is a playroom. Everyone seems to like our new carpeting. Last night we were out to John's cousins who are building a home. They liked the carpeting so well they got gray for themselves in the same kind. Saturday night we were out to Kirtland Hills for a JC auxiliary picnic, and Thursday night our junior women's club board and a picnic. Tuesday night I had organized a group to go to city council to try to get a swimming pool put in a bond issue, but no go. The Kiwanis were spearheading it, and we were trying to help. Oh, we got a new car. Calypso cream and black Chevrolet. All cream and black nylon and plastic interior. I'll try to send you a snap of it. The day after the sports car race, John judged the beauty contest, and the next day we were invited on the first evening cruise of the Aquarama, a lovely new boat here. Many of the beauty winners and contestants were also aboard. It was very nice. I'd like the little clipping back. You may keep the ones of John. John drove to Mansfield, Ohio in a little white sports car, and then the fellow came for a picnic Sunday night and recounted war stories. He was one of 3 survivors of his company in Okinawa. Very interesting. Dave and Carol bought a big old house. Had a nice letter from Bud. I'll write to Grandpa. Maybe we could bring him down here for a week. Good night. I enjoyed the snaps. Showed Al and Helene. Love, John, Ruth, Mark, and Pamela. 602 Huntmere Drive, Bay Village, Ohio, July 24th, 1956. Dear folks, here are the latest snaps. I wish that the ones of the birthday party had come out as well. This film is a Tri-X which does so well in the shade, but some light got in on the last 2, so they aren't very good. Keep the ones you'd like to have. How do you like our new car? And hasn't Pamela grown up? Did I tell you we put away the diaper pail? I feel that I don't have anything to do. Have to have another baby. Pamela wore little silk panties today. Today Mark told one little girlfriend, "You gave me candy the other day, and it hurt my teeth, so I'll have to go to the dentist. So you'd better tell your mother not to give me any more candy." He was shouting so that I doubt if anyone will give him any more. Mark saw one of the pictures of John in the Black Hills of South Dakota, hanging onto a ledge as if he were falling. He worried so about Daddy. His little lips trembled and he started crying, and eventually I had to let him phone John at the office to be sure that Daddy hadn't fallen into the chasm. He couldn't see anyone there to help him. Good night. Love all. 602 Huntmere Drive, Bay Village, Ohio, August 15th, 1956. Dear folks, Enjoyed your letter and snaps of Doris's kitchen and Pat's girls. Such cute girls. The second one looks so much like Pat did when she was little. Doris's kitchen looks much like our apartment. Very nice, only larger, I expect. Did she get a canister set? What colors does she like? Yellow, red, pink, and gray? Or does she prefer metal to plastic? I'd like to get ideas of things they need for their house. Also baby needs. It's a very exciting time. I enjoyed the snaps of Bud's house and car too. Hope to find time to write to him. There's nothing like having your first baby. First great-grandchild Smallshaw, isn't it? Yes, we've had lots of compliments on the rug. John's cousin liked it so much they ordered it for the new home they're building. It's in black and white tweed. It comes in gold and tan and green too. So many have said this is what they like and like the effect in our room, with the beige walls and gold drapes and sectional and other brown tones in the room. I find it very nice to live with too. It's viscose, moth-proof, and we kept the pad that was under the other. Hair, foam might be nicer. We cleaned it and sprayed it. Saved $1 a square yard for padding. We cut the rug ourselves and laid it. Saved $1 per square yard for laying. John didn't think we ought to try it, but you know me. I measured everything. You have to turn under 2 inches all around. Then I ordered 15 feet wide and 19 feet long. The piece I cut from the L for the dining nook I used for the hall. It was very tricky cutting all around the doors. We got it on sale. It's usually about $5.95 a square yard, but it's gone down to $3.95 a square yard, lower than we paid, $4.45. I think we got about 33 square yards, and it was about $150. Very reasonable, I think, and I hope it wears. Stains are removable by putting bleach on, then after a minute neutralizing with vinegar. I wonder if they bought carpeting across the line if they'd have to pay duty on it. Of course, it might be expensive in South Dakota, too. The freight might be high. Ann and Wayne Duff's youngest 5-month-old is in the hospital in isolation. He had a 105-degree temperature and was stiff, so they took polio and meningitis tests, but negative. They still don't know what's wrong, but he's improving. It's been over a week. She phoned long distance this morning to congratulate us on John's television appearance. John and our new car were on television. He looked very sharp in his dark suit and Panama straw hat and shiny car. They interviewed him in connection with the JC Lock Your Car campaign week. So many cars are stolen with the keys in the ignition. He also had his picture taken for the newspaper tomorrow. Ann and Wayne's baby was fed intravenously. They're flying to Alaska the end of the month to visit Wayne's uncle and aunt, and they're stopping in Edmonton. Mrs. Brooks will look after all 4 children. We went to a party in Shaker Heights Saturday, the couple we drove to Kansas City with. They have the largest new home we've ever been in. We saw the convention movies that we're in. John's in several times. Several fellows from the national level of the JCs were there. We've invited a number of folks over for a picnic and bridge party Saturday. Hope it doesn't rain. This has been such a rainy summer. Not conducive to my picnic life at all. Don't worry about gifts. Blazer for Mark. They seem to have plenty. The only thing they run out of is short white socks. They're growing so fast, size 10. Also a short-sleeved white cotton shirt if you see any on sale, less than $1. But we can get them cheaper here, I think. Don't worry about equalizing the gifts, though. I do get compliments on their cute outfits that match. They're also low on jeans, red ones or blue ones, but there again I can get them for $1 or less. Had the junior women's Christmas cards yesterday and today to sell and sold about $40 to neighbors. A good, easy way for a group to make money. We had a $500 profit last year. Profit to polio, the schools, and mental hospital. John said, "Doesn't your mother know what a hysterectomy is?" It's a very commonly used term here and is when all the female organs are removed. So a woman won't have any more babies. It's very sad. I've been feeling like I want to have 3 more children fast before I'm too old. I asked John if he wouldn't like another baby like Mark was, and he was very enthusiastic. "Oh my, yes, wouldn't that be nice?" Then I asked about another one like Pamela. "Heavens, no." I asked if he didn't like her. "Yes, but if we have enough of a good thing, let's not push this thing too far." The Rays are up in Michigan going on up to Mackinac Island and Sault Ste. Marie. Dick and Joan went with them and are staying at Helen's cabin. Then Helen drove on up with the folks on their trip. Dick and Joan have a new red car, a Plymouth. Carol's new house is a big older place but has a new $2,500 kitchen with a built-in oven and natural wood cupboards. Pamela's dress in the snap is one great-grandma and Grandpa Zook gave her when she was born. You may keep the snaps. She's about grown out of it now, but she did look cute for Sunday school. John was Toastmaster at a luncheon today, and a football coach was a guest with 2 players and Miss Cleveland also. She's Miss Ohio now. The coach said in speaking that of all the luncheons they attended all over the country, John was the best, the most witty and humorous, master of ceremonies they'd ever met. He is a wonderful speaker. Lots of love, and a nice daddy too. John, Red, Mark, and Pam. To be continued. Well, that concludes today's presentation. Good luck to you with your efforts in family history. If this interests you, finding, preserving, and sharing old letters, diaries, photographs, family movies and videos, and interviewing elderly relatives while they're alive, you might consider checking out our website, Adventures in History, with Peter J. Ray at peterjray.com. So far, we've made 655 history videos in 7 areas: world history, American history, book reviews, poetic tours, Cleveland baseball, family history, and autobiography. There's a donate feature. You might consider making a donation so we can continue making these videos. You also might consider checking out our podcast, Adventures in History, at Anchor FM Peter Ray. If you live in Metro Manila, Philippines, and are looking for a high school, you might consider Res Celeste Educational Center. Res Celeste is located in San Juan, Metro Manila, Philippines, and at Res Celeste, we specialize in helping young people who have had difficulty in the larger traditional high schools. It's more than a school, it's a warm, supportive community, a family-type atmosphere. And the website is resceleste.education, RESALEST. Thanks so much for watching. Really appreciate it. God bless you. Take care. And I'll see you next time.